Now we back officially, baby. All right, we rock it. I don't know what that was about. I don't know why it wasn't showing up, but whatever. It's all good. So, like I was saying, yo, what up, though, guys? It's your favorite businessman, CEO Rico. Y'all already know how we about to get it cracking. It's Friday, 10 p.m., baby. So we got to get things moving. So yeah, like I was saying. So, how was y'all week? My week was pretty straight. Last week was a little frustrating. Hold on, 2 seconds. What's up, back? Yeah, we back on live right now. Though it's good. All right, all right. So last week lost out on some money. I had to go through some training though. But it don't look like I'm about to be continuing doing what I was doing. But it's all good though. It ain't no thing but a chicken wing. You feel me? Yo, so tonight we got to talk politics. We got to, as you already know, we talk politics every week. Hey, here's the thing about that. So with the politics, right? Like I always be telling y'all, one is something that we all should know. We all should, be learning more about politics. It's not something that you got to necessarily learn overnight, but it should be something that you are actively learning as time progresses, especially when it comes to local, like election stuff like that. Dealing with your own neighborhood stuff. That's something that you definitely should be paying attention to. So make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can always get the notifications when stuff is popping off. I always got something going on. I've been doing a lot of learning, research, critiquing, stuff like that. So I'm always going to try to bring something new to the show to make it more entertaining, of course, for my people. Because y'all already know, y'all don't really have, a long attention span, which is all good. It's kind of all of us sometimes. So it is what it is. And there's no shade. Don't get in your feelings. Yo, so not last week, just recently, Trump, he said he's about to hit the automotive industry with that 25% tariffs, right? So we about to get into that. Of course, Canada, they doing some how many minutes we in? We in 3 minutes. All right, yeah. Canada, they doing some bitching about it. But so we about to turn up. We about to get talking. We about to get the conversation rocking. So let's get into it. It shouldn't mess up, so we should be good.
As you know, and as you've been saying, not reporting as accurately as it should be reported because it's a massive story. Business is coming back to the United States so that they don't have to pay tariffs. And I think also because of November 5th, the election, they're very happy. AI is coming back to levels that nobody's ever seen before. It's a new business, I guess, when you think about it. But it's plants are going up all over the United States, and many of them have already been started. We're getting early electricity taken care of. We're getting permits very quickly for them, and we're going to make their life very happy. They're coming in with tens of billions of dollars. Individual plants will cost 10, 15, even $20 billion. We're going to let them build electricity generating plants along with their plant, and they can't even believe it. And we're going to get them very quick permits, as I've done always. I did that in Louisiana with 2 LNG plants. I got them one permit in 1 day after waiting 14 years, and the other one in 1 week after waiting for 12 years. But this is very exciting to me. This is the automobile industry, and this will continue to spur growth like you haven't seen. Before I was elected, we were losing all of our plants. They were being built in Mexico and Canada and other places. Now those plants largely have stopped, and they're moving them to our country. In Indiana, the great state of Indiana, I love Indiana. Honda is building one of the biggest plants anywhere, and they've just started. They wouldn't have done it without this. In all cases, they wouldn't have done it without what we're doing. So we'll effectively be charging a 25% tariff. But if you build your car in the United States, there is no tariff. And what that means is a lot of foreign car companies, a lot of companies are going to be in great shape because they've already built their plant, but their plants are underutilized, so they'll be able to expand them inexpensively and quickly. But others will come into our country and build, and they're already looking for sites. They're looking for mostly sites. They don't want to take the old buildings that are empty and falling down. They want to build new, and there's tremendous action. There is likewise for other companies and countries, like the chip making process. Your chip bill was a disaster done by Biden. All he does is give tremendous amounts of billions of dollars to chip companies that will do nothing with the money. They're not going to use the money here. They're going to just keep it. They have plenty of money. The one thing they have is they have a lot of money. In our case, all we're doing is saying you can't come in unless you build here. And the largest chip company by far is manufacturer from Taiwan is building here, and it'll give us almost 40% of the chip market just with that. They're spending almost $200 billion in the United States to build a plant, and they've almost started. They'll be doing much of the work in Arizona. So we have.
Hey yo, so Pete, right? So just off the few minutes that we just got into this, right? You cannot say that Trump is not putting in work. That's one thing you can't say. I don't care if you don't like the man. Like, if you do like him, I don't care if you don't like Republicans. I don't care about none of that. Just straight up looking at it, Trump came in putting in work for the U.S. He's bringing jobs back. He got manufacturers coming back. Who was it? I can't even remember the manufacturing plant, but they about to build in Louisiana. They about to build in Indiana. No, so you got the steel industry going to Louisiana. They got so much investment that's about to go into there. You got the I'm trying to remember. Is it it's either Hyundai or Honda. I think it's Hyundai. Hey, whoever, correct me. Write it in the comments. Who's going to Indiana to build manufacturing plants there? So you got those two companies. He got I think it was like a bank or two banks that invested money in here. You got data centers that's being built here. Like, you got so many different businesses, different infrastructure that's going to start building here and investing in America, which is going to bring back jobs. So just off of what he already said, he's bringing money back. Now, here's one thing that kind of blew me away, right? So where we at? We in March. So he probably like 2 months into his presidency. Look how much he has done so far. Now, I get it. Some people don't like him. You got people that's complaining about, he's, whatever, transphobic, homophobic. He don't want them to do it, and he's messing up America. Listen, I hear people all the time that say Trump is effing up America. And I just be like, how? And then they go to all these different things. Well, he's doing this. He's messing up. He's messing up the Department of Education. He's messing with Social Security. He's messing with this. And it's like, y'all always say he's messing with something. But do you, so when you say that, do you actually like go into and actually do the research and read, like, okay, what exactly is he doing? Do y'all ever do that? Thank you, Honda. All right, cool. It's the Honda plant. All right, my man said it. So, do y'all ever go see exactly what he's doing? Do y'all ever like take the time out to stop paying attention to the media, right? And actually go do the actual research to see like what's actually cracking? Because when people always say that, I always gotta, make them elaborate, because I don't really want to go back and forth with people, because people, they can't really have the intellectual conversation when it comes to politics. So they just get so in their feelings and emotional. And that shit pisses me off. Like, I cannot talk to other men who get in their emotions when we having a conversation about other motherfuckers. It's like, I'm not about to argue with you about what these motherfuckers is doing. I can't control what they doing. So why you bitching? You feel what I'm saying? Like, just as a man, I can't do that. It's real unproductive. But listen, let's get back into this for a quick minute, and then we're gonna finish chopping it up in a second.
A lot of exciting things, but to me, this is one of the most exciting. Now, outside of one specific day, and that's Liberation Day. That's the real Liberation Day of America, and that's going to be in April 2nd. And I look forward to it. We'll have a little news conference. We'll talk about it. But this is very exciting. So we're signing a executive order today that's going to lead to tremendous growth in the automobile industry. As you know, the electric mandate that we did allows you to buy a car now, electric or gasoline powered or hybrid. You can buy any car you want. We had it so that within a short period of time you had to buy all electric, and the country could never get, they could never provide the money necessary to build all of those power plants that you would need all over the country. As you know, in the Middle West, they built 8 power stations. That's like the size of this desk or smaller. And they ended up spending $9 billion on 8. And of the 8, 4 of them didn't work.
Bro, 9 billion for 8 or 9 of them or whatever. And I'm actually like, listen, don't get me wrong. Trump be, he kind of sometimes he exaggerates. He kind of make things bigger than what they actually are. And that's why, like, previously, like I said it on camera before, that I stopped being emotional when it came to like politics. I leave emotions completely out of it. I don't operate off emotions when it comes to making a decision when it comes to politicians and stuff like that. But my man's doing his thing. Besides the fact he get to talking crazy and shit like that, so you still got to go do your own research, and which I am going to do that when it comes to the charging stations. But I did hear that at one time. I did hear that they spent a shit ton of money on charging stations. Basically, like they overspent, which we already know that our government has been doing that for a number of years. That's one of the reasons that we are in all this debt that we are already in. So we know this. Then he just hit them with 25% tariffs. Like, I really don't. I can't understand why people be so pissed. I had a dude come in and I was talking to this one dude, and like he started off the conversation that what do you say? Trump is he effing up the economy, and he was talking about the postal service. And because he said something about like it being that he's trying to privatize it and some other stuff, right? And I asked him a question. I said, but the postal service, they've been losing like a lot of money. And I kid you not, when I made that statement, when I said that part, my man's went from Trump is effing up the country and all of this, and he switched it over to, well, somebody has to do it, and we got all this debt and I was just sitting there like, damn, like it just switched that fast. Like I thought he was effing up everything. Now I'm not saying dude perfect. I never say nobody's perfect, but shit, compared to every other president that we had so far within my lifetime, I don't really see him effing up for real. Like I think all the way back to, I'm gonna go all the way back to, I remember when I was in, what grade was I? First grade. We had mock elections. Do y'all remember, have y'all ever had mock elections inside like when y'all was in elementary school? Cause I did. I think it was first grade. It was between Al Gore and George Bush, right? And we had to check off who we wanted to, vote for, everything like that. And off rip, I had voted for Al Gore. Now, since then, I want y'all to think about all the presidents that we have had so far. We had Bush that sent us into a war that lasted, well, the Iraq war was like 20 years, something like that. It was a crazy war. A bunch of people died for no effing reason. We had no reason to be there. That was one. Second president that came in was Obama. And here's the crazy thing about Obama, right? When Obama got in the office, of course, I wasn't old enough to vote yet, but still watching it. It was a black dude, and all the black people came out for Obama, all of them, because we was like, hell yeah, first black president, we in there, let's go, right? Emotional stuff, right? But then after Obama presidency was over, I heard a lot of black people saying, man, Obama ain't do nothing for black people. But then I heard some other people saying, he was one of the greatest presidents, black, blah, blah, all that black shit, blah, blah, blah. Then come to find out, Obama didn't do nothing for black people specifically. Even though like he'd get on camera and he'd say like he did and he dropped unemployment and all like that. But it's like it seemed like the presidents, they did something for their people specifically, right? But he didn't. Now, since I started to understand politics and I understand like the way stuff operates, it was one of those situations that I honestly believe there was no way he could have did nothing for black people specifically. It was no effing way. But what was crazy, and I only say that not saying like he really couldn't do it. I'm just saying like because it's like certain agendas. You know, you ever heard like it's not the president don't actually run nothing. It's people behind the president that supposedly run stuff, right? But with Obama, he did do all this stuff when it came to like the LGBTQ and all like that, which is mind blowing, right? Because it's like, how the fuck do you push that whole thing? And I ain't saying nothing about that community. You know, everybody deserves human decency, human rights, all that. But how do you push that? It had to be a push, right? Because that's the only thing I can see from it, right? So then after Obama, we had Trump. Now, this is where I want to have a conversation at from this point move forward about, because when Trump got in office, I was, we still young. That's what, 2016. And I still didn't fully understand like politics and everything. So I'm thinking it's more of a racist thing. That's what I was under the impression, listening to other people, not doing my own research, not doing my own homework. Everybody loved Trump before he started. Well, not everybody, but majority of people loved Trump before he started running for president. Then when he ran for president in 2016, that's when people started hating him, right? And then they said, oh, he's worse, he's racist, he all this is blah, blah, blah. Then we had COVID. So they paint him out to be this bad person, right? Then after that, who do we have? We had Biden. And when Biden got in office, I voted for Biden. And the crazy thing was, when I voted for Biden, I did not know that he was actually a part of that, what was it? That crime bill that put a whole bunch of black men in prison and all like that back in, I think it was like 86 and then 90 something. I didn't know he was a part of all that. And then when I found all this out, and then, Trump started running again for this presidency he in now, I made a conscious decision. I said, you know what? I am never going to be moved by emotions when it comes to politics again, because they literally will play on your emotions. And I can't, me as a man, dog, I hate being played. I hate feeling like somebody is playing me, somebody is pulling my strings, somebody has some type of control over my emotions or over me to where it's like I'm doing their bidding. That's when I made a decision. I was like, bro, that shit ain't gonna never happen again. And that's why I say I'm not Republican, I'm not Democrat. I'm for whoever gonna give me the best opportunities. The last president that was in there, it really wasn't no real opportunities for real that was being presented necessarily for us. And if I'm wrong, let me know. Y'all tell me what opportunities was present when the last president was in office, because I can't see none. So if y'all know, let me know. But since Trump got in office this time, my man's been putting on. My man's got money coming back in here. He got Elon, you know what I'm saying, doing his thing with Doge, and we actually gonna watch some material dealing with Doge and all the stuff that they doing, because it's actually really crazy on what Doge is doing and all on what they finding, everything, right? So we gonna get into that too. So hold on, let me see something. But we are about to talk about Elon, so we can get off Trump, because we already talked about Trump. My bad. No, we not. We got some other stuff to talk about, because we got to talk about Canada, because Canada is doing a whole bunch of crying. So y'all already know Trump hit the automotive industry with the 25% tariff. So just make sure y'all remember that 25% tariff on that. So I'm gonna show y'all this real quick, because
7.38 million vehicles were imported and sold in the United States last year. Now, I want you to imagine that if you had that same demand, you're going to put a 25% tariff on 7.38 million vehicles. Clearly, that is not going to happen. What's going to happen once these tariffs go into effect is the automakers will respond in a couple of ways. One, they're going to slow down production in foreign plants for vehicles that are imported here to the United States. They're going to also probably have to raise prices and cut incentives. That'll probably happen fairly quickly. And the final decision they'll have to make is how much capacity do they have to bring production back into the United States? The president says, well, there's some places that only have 60% capacity. It's not as simple as just flipping a switch. there's tooling, there's also making sure that the plant and the supply chain can adjust and bring production from a particular plant overseas back here. But there's no doubt this is going to be a huge hit for the auto industry. One executive in the industry texted me earlier and he said, this is going to drive the auto industry, not the overall economy, strictly the auto industry, into a recession.
I don't know. I kind of call bullshit on that. I want y'all to see this from the beginning, the actual beginning.
Melissa, 7.38 million vehicles were imported and sold in the United States last year. Now, I want you to imagine that if you had that same demand, you're going to put a 25% tariff on 7.38 million vehicles. Clearly, that is not going to happen. What's going to happen once these tariffs go into effect is the automakers will
My bad. That was the beginning.
This is going to drive the auto industry, the overall economy, strictly the auto industry, into a recession. Melissa?
So that's what we're seeing.
Hey, yo, listen. So now, if you pay attention to the way he's phrasing it, everything, right? I want y'all to always remember, when things are bad, things are always going to get worse before they get better. Now, he's showing the stock market. He's showing that the automotive, their stocks is going down, 3%, Tesla, all like that. Here's one thing I want y'all to understand when it comes to we're gonna talk about the stock market for right now, right? When stuff start going bad with the stock market, because if you look at the stock market over, let's say 100 years, the stock market has never like crashed and never went back up. It's never done it. In general, it always rises, right? Now, one thing they always try to do is they try to give you certain information because it's like you can manipulate data to tell a story that you wanted to tell. But in this case, he's trying to make it seem like it's just this horrible thing, the automotive industry, that they're just they won't be able to recover, it's gonna be a recession, all like that. Listen, Stellantis already been firing people like crazy. So when they sit here and try to say certain stuff like that, all you got to do, go talk to the people that actually work in these facilities. Go talk to them. When you have a conversation with them, Stellantis been laying motherfuckers off. You got people that's been laid off for like, you got some, I remember, I can't remember who I was talking to, but they said that they got like a permanent layoff. Like they not going back to work no time soon at Stellantis. That's one. Tesla, I don't even know nobody who ever worked at Tesla, so I can't even tell you nothing about that. But they stock been going up and down simply because of Elon himself. He owns some, all the shit that he own. Ford, General Motors. I mean, if you invest into those stocks, cool, but I personally don't, right? But when he say the 25% is going to go on top of it and all like that for all the foreign and all like that, listen, business wise, all those businesses is going to, he talking about some tooling and all like that bullshit, bro. They always retooling and having to set up for certain stuff. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. When General Motors start rolling out the electric Hummer, if I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to remember which assembly plant was it in Michigan. I think it was, I can't even remember, so I ain't even gonna quote it. But they rolled out their last vehicles, which I think was the Impala. I think it was when they stopped it, and they basically took the whole plant that made that vehicle and they started to redesign the entire plant strictly for the Hummer, the EV Hummer. So far as all the tooling and everything, bro, they do this already. See, that's the thing. Like they try to give you information to where a lot of people don't know already, and they try to give you this narrative that, oh, it's going to be just so bad, and everything is going to be bad, and there's going to be a huge recession. Man, these fucking automotive companies gonna do what they've been doing. Remember when they had that? Remember that when they needed that bailout years ago, when the whole automotive industry was failing, and then the government had to come in and give them money. If it's so called a recession, what the fuck you think they gonna do? They gonna go get more money. Because at the end of the day, we know what? We know that automotive companies, especially like here in like the Midwest, and then you got facilities in Canada, Mexico, all like that, right? If they bring all that shit back here, and hypothetically for some odd reason, they gonna have a recession for some odd reason, which cars are already expensive as ever anyway. If they was to have a recession, the government technically would bail them out. Why? Because they supply so many jobs. You got all these people that's working in those plants. They gonna bail them out. So he's sitting here talking about this damn recession. It's kind of like, okay, if that was to be. But then I also want y'all to always pay attention too. You always got to pay attention to both sides. Why would it technically be a recession? All simply because Trump is going to tax the hell out of you if you have the manufacturing plants outside of the US, if you constantly build these cars outside of the US and then import them back into the US for the American citizens to buy. We not building them. We not making no money during the process, none of that. So he's going to tax the hell out of you. So it's like, well, okay, as a business, I don't want to get taxed at 25% because if I get taxed on that, that's going to mess with my profit margins and I don't want them problems. Let me go ahead and bring my cars, my manufacturing back to the US so these US workers can work and then I can still move this product. What the fuck is we talking about? Like, don't let these people fool y'all, man. Because they be on some straight bull, right? Don't let them fool you. Don't never let them fool you. Always follow the money. These big ass corporations, they got money. They gonna pivot. They gonna know how to make money, whether they gonna lay motherfuckers off. Because remember, with the automotive industry, remember all the people that used to work in the plants, they fired all the old people that was making a $35, $40, $45 an hour. They fired all them and they brought in the young people and started paying them $17, $16, $15 an hour doing the same exact work. So all them people that started like that, because it's people in there that's back making like the 20s, the 30s, and all like that. They gonna offer them a buyout or lay them off and get them on out of there, bring new people in. It's the cycle. It's business. You feel what I'm saying? Just don't let them fool you. That's all I'm saying. Don't let them fool you. I want y'all. Hold on.
Okay.
I want y'all to check this one out, right? And the reason I wanted to bring this up and go over this with y'all, right? Because now I haven't watched the full thing. I only watched like maybe like a few minutes. But remember when Canada was talking all that shit? Remember we discussed it last week. Remember they was talking all that shit about, we hit them with tariffs. They gonna hit us with tariffs, and they serve us with electricity. They serve us with potash, which they said what potash was for, but I have no fucking idea what potash is and what it's for. Even though they said it, I don't even remember it. Like potash, I never heard that in Michigan before this whole trade war thing. Trees and what, maple syrup? Maple syrup, I think it was. But Trump already came on record and was like, yo, we don't need y'all trees, we don't need y'all electricity, we don't need none of y'all shit. We actually give y'all $200 billion a year. We supplement y'all. So basically, it's kind of like, think of it like this. Think of like your side bitch talking shit about what you about to do when you got your main at the crib, cooking for you, taking care of business, taking care of all your stuff, taking care of your babies and all that. The side chick, you only just use her to, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like, suck you up every now and again. But then she get to talking shit like, yeah, well, if you stop messing with me or if you do this, I'm going to do this to you. I'm going to call your girl and let her know. And you basically like, shorty, my girl at the crib already know about you. I pay your rent. Matter of fact, I pay all your bills in that motherfucking apartment that you in. What makes you think you gonna hurt me? What are you gonna do to me? That's basically what that's basically what Trump said. Literally, that's what he said. Cause Canada was like, we ain't gonna give you no head no more. And Trump was like, bitch, I don't need you for no head. The fuck? What you talking about? That's literally what he said. I'm just saying. But Pete, what they said.
Good afternoon. Bonjour tout le monde. Today, my cabinet colleagues and I met to discuss Canada's response to the latest developments in the trade crisis. Yesterday, in the latest salvo in his trade war, President Trump again imposed unjustified tariffs on our nation in violation of our existing trade agreements.
Really?
This time, he targeted the auto industry and the more than 500,000 hardworking, dedicated Canadians that industry supports across.
500,000. So we are supporting their economy heavily. So that's what I'm saying. Heavily. We want all that shit back. We don't want y'all to produce our cars and y'all get paid and all that. We don't want that. Bring our shit back home. Now, don't get me wrong. Let's hypothetically say if stuff get a little bit more expensive. Just a little bit. Bro, we already spend money like crazy anyway. So hypothetically, if nobody's buying these cars, because if you really want to think about it, if we already making our own products, now some people said, because I remember having a conversation with some people, it was like, Americans don't want to do the work, and if we make everything American made, then everything will be a lot more expensive and stuff like that. I don't necessarily believe that, and here's the reason on why. If you bring all the cars and everything back here, let's just stick on the automotive industry. If you bring everything back here and the automotive employees, they're making all of our cars, how are we then going to say, oh, well, it's going to be more expensive? How? You got more people working now. So with the whole supply and demand, it's more people working. It's more people that got money now. So guess what? We're going to fuel our own economy. And if we got a whole bunch of more cars and more people can afford more cars, it's like, how are they going to make it more expensive? Because at that point, it's kind of like, well, I don't want to go get the new Cadillac. Let me go, you know what I'm saying? Let me go buy, I don't know, let me go buy the Chevy Dart, just for example. Let's say that car 24,000 and the Cadillac is, they want 40. Well, guess what? The companies is gonna have to figure something out. All right, well, shit, ain't nobody buying these, but they buying a whole bunch of, darts. Let's ramp up production on darts, or let's drop these prices over here. Let's create some incentives. The moral of the story is we're supporting our own economy at that point. Our money is circulating in within us versus somebody else making our shit, then bringing it back here, and then we paying for it when you really ain't even got no money for real as it is. You kind of get what I'm saying?
Our country. Now, the President of the United States is trying to fundamentally restructure his economy. It means our economy, and it means the global economy as well. And I understand and respect his goal to support American workers, but I disagree with him that this is how to help them. With time, it will become apparent that these actions will end up hurting American workers and American consumers. I reject any attempts to weaken Canada, to wear us down, to break us so that America can own us. That will never happen. And our response to these latest tariffs is to fight, is to protect, and to build. We will fight the U.S. tariffs with retaliatory trade actions of our own that will have maximum impact in the United States and minimum impacts here in Canada.
Which is what?
We will protect our workers and our industries during this difficult period. But above all, we will build a new Canadian economy. We will build Canada strong. Se battre pour nos travailleurs, protéger notre économie et nos concitoyens, bâtir un Canada fort. Il est évident que les États-Unis.
Oh man, no, he did not just go French on us. Did he just switch to French because he didn't want us to hear what he was saying? Hold on, let's see.
Ne sont plus une partenaire de confiance, mais les États-Unis. We can protect our workers and build. The President of the United States reached out to schedule a call. I appreciate this opportunity to discuss how we can protect our workers and build our economies. I will make clear to the President that those interests are best served by cooperation and mutual respect, including of our sovereignty.
Listen. Don't let my man's up here. Don't let that shit fool you. And the reason why I say that is because simply by listening to the conversation, the way he talking, everything. And I'm not trying to do like no real like analyzation or nothing like that. My man is not speaking from a position of power. I can't remember. I'm trying to remember what my man's name was who came here. They had just elected him or something like that. And he came to have a conversation with Trump because he was also touting the same thing, everything about the Canadians, and they gonna hit us with retaliatory uh tariffs and all this shit. If that was the case, why did when they were supposedly about to hit us with tariffs in retaliation to what we did, and then Trump was like, yo, whatever anybody hit us with, we gonna hit their ass back with it, and then we gonna double it, right? Kid you not, they came right back and was like, you know what? We not hitting y'all with no tariffs. We take all that back. We good. We don't want no smoke. That's because I had already looked it up. Bro, we literally satisfy 75%, damn near 75% of their economy. Damn near 75% of their economy depends on us. That's why he said over 500,000 employees work in the automotive industry over there. So you think about it. Bring all that shit back over here. Because one, Canada, their taxes is really like extremely high. It's through the roof. That's one. Two, if we take all of that and we bring it back over here, one, it's going to make sense because they are going to get not them, but the automotive companies that have their vehicles being made over there, they're going to get taxed high as hell, and it's not going to be profitable for them. So they're going to have to bring it back over here. Hold on, we got a comment. So the comment says, with them bringing with the car companies bringing them back to the United States, that means that the prices of the cars are going to be higher, which means they will sell less cars and won't put the car companies in jeopardy. No, it's not going to be more expensive because think about it. I want you to think about it like this. So typically you think about the car companies, like cheaper labor. I can like if you ever look at our money compared to Canadian money, it's almost about the same. So basically, for every car that's over there being made, let's say, I don't know, let's just give a rough estimate. Let's say it's costing $1,000 for some odd reason. Let's say a grand per car over there. It technically will cost about damn near the same price to build it here. But the fact that Trump said we about to hit y'all with 25% tariffs for you getting them manufactured over there, and then something had just popped up. It kind of threw me off. Over there, and then you're gonna get hit with a 25% tariff over here. The car companies already got crazy profits. So with the car companies already having crazy profits, all it's really doing is they're gonna basically just do this. They're gonna figure out like, all right, well, shit, we can't have that 25% tariff that's going to eat into our profit margin. Yeah, we might have to charge the customer more, but the customer already can't even afford it. They still got cars sitting because of that whole chip shortage that happened during COVID. They still got cars sitting that they can't even move. You feel what I'm saying? So by them bringing all them cars, all the manufacturing back over here, right? What that is doing is now they don't have to get a tax with that 25% tariff, which is going to help their profit margin. And then they're going to figure out something within the budget to help that. You feel what I'm saying? Cars are not going to be more expensive because I remember when I went into the Ford dealership, this when I was buying cars for my fleet. And I remember I looked at the Ford F-150. Kid you not, that Ford F-150 price tag was 50 bands. I said, wait, when did trucks start getting so expensive? Like like, so cars are already expensive, but it's like if people already can't even afford them, none of that matters. But when they bring them cars back up, they bring all the manufacturing over here. You're gonna have way more competition. You're gonna have way more jobs. You're gonna have way more money that's in that's circulating within our own economy. We want that. Now, the only place that you really get that super cheap labor is probably down in Mexico, maybe. But I guarantee you, the money, the infrastructure and everything they have to put in place out there, I guarantee you they gonna figure something out to where they're gonna do the same things here. I promise you. Hold on, we got another one. So, bro, did you hear that Canada supplies electricity to like millions of people up north? I think it's Michigan, but that may be what they're talking about as retaliation by not supplying them. Bro, I live in Michigan. Yeah, they said all that shit. They were supposed to turn our lights off. What's today? The 28th. I think they're supposed to do that. It was some, I think it was like February something or beginning of March. You see our power still on. When put it like this, Canada don't really want them problems with us. I want you to think of it like this too. Let's say you a business, right? And I buy whatever product from you. Right? No, my bad. You buy majority of my product. You a business and you buy majority of my, let's say you buy 80% of everything that I produce, or 80% of one product. Basically, I get a lot of money from you. Why would it make sense for me to come tell you, hey, yo, I don't care what you're talking about. I don't care about how you feel. I'm not changing this, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to basically do something that, like, if you're unhappy with business, I don't care about what you're talking about. I'm going to just do me and ain't nothing you can do about it. What would you say? Okay, I'm going to stop spending money with you. I make up 80% of your entire business revenue. Do you really think I'm going to sit here and say anything to you? I'm going to say, yo, what do you need? Let's have a conversation. Let me fix these problems within my business so I can continue to cater to my number one customer. Canada already said it multiple times that America is their best and favorite trade partner and all that shit. Canada needs us. We don't need them. Trump already said it. We don't need their trees. We don't need their electricity. We need none of that. So nobody's worried about Canada at all. At all. We're going to finish out a few more minutes of this and then we're going to keep it pushing.
Entre-temps, je viens de tenir une rencontre. Ces discussions won't back down. We will respond forcefully. Nothing is off the table to defend our workers and our country. Now, to my fellow Canadians, I don't want to set unreasonable expectations. The road ahead will be long. There is no silver bullet. There is no quick fix. And I know and I understand that many are feeling anxious and worried about the future. Fundamental change is always unsettling. But I have every confidence in our country because I understand what President Trump does not. That we love Canada with every fiber of our being. Because we are stronger when we are together, and Canadians are uniting as never before. Now, we are going to have to live the lessons of recent months. First, that we have to look out for ourselves. And second, that we have to look out for each other. The federal government will do everything in its power to protect Canadian workers and businesses. We will be here for you every step of the way. In the past week, my government committed to use every dollar collected from our retaliatory tariffs to protect our workers. Et la semaine dernière, j'ai annoncé plusieurs
All right, man, keep going to French. Like, nobody want to hear that shit. He ain't got nothing. I'm gonna tell you like this. You can tell when people are when they are in positions of power. You can kind of see when they feeling a little, uneasy, to where it's like, oh shit, we ain't really got nothing, but we gonna try to keep the confidence within our people and all like that. It's like, yeah, that's all cool. That's all fine and dandy, but bro, anybody got no faith in that bullshit. I'm just being 100, like, for real, because he's just bluffing. That's all I can say. So we about to keep it pushing. So Y'all already know. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. So the next part of the show, we got news with my man's Anton Daniels. So we about to get cracking with that. So what's going on over here? Tesla. I know y'all heard about the whole situation where Tesla has been getting bombed and all like that, right? Where somebody then came in, threw a cocktail in one of the Teslas, shot at the Tesla, like literally like straight guns, pow, 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 and the Teslas and all like that, right? Why they caught one of the dudes? We talking major crash out, but it's politically related though. But the crazy part is somebody put a battery in my man's back, sent him out into the world. Well, not necessarily sent him out, but he chose to go out like a dumbass and he got caught. Let's get into it.
Tesla arson suspect was arrested and is now facing, hear me out here. This may hurt a little bit, but we got to say it. Upwards of almost 20 years in prison.
Dog about to do 2 decades. He about to do a 20 ball. A 20 ball because he mad.
Let me say that again for the back. Upwards of over 20, not 20 seconds, not 20 hours, not 20 days, 20 years.
Could you imagine that?
20 years in prison. Absolutely, positively crazy, man. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. We're going to look at this from a couple different lenses. Check it out.
The self-righteous mob that's cheering you on today to commit acts of violence on their behalf will leave you high and dry and forget about you tomorrow. And at the end of the day, you and you alone will be held responsible and face the prospect of a lengthy prison sentence.
Facts.
A strongly worded message from the local FBI today following the arrest of the person accused of firebombing this local Tesla service center last Tuesday. 36-year-old Paul Kim is now facing local and federal charges.
Police arrested him yesterday. He appeared in a federal court this afternoon, and that's where he was charged federally with arson.
Bro, look at these charges. You got 3 counts of arson, 3 counts of all unlawful possession of explosive or incendiary devices, 4 counts of destroying property, 5 counts of discharging into a vehicle or structure. Dog got real life charges. And he, like, bro, you about to do 20 years because you wanted to shoot up and blow up a goddamn Tesla car. Like, you got to be stupid. Like, what was the point? I can see if my man was getting paid to do it. If he got paid, like, I don't know, what's a good amount to do 20 years? Because I can't justify no 20-year bid. I'm sorry, I can't. Like, my family. The only way I think I could justify doing 20 years if it was like, I don't know, I got $2 million per year. And I could have like conjugal visits too. Like, that got to be a part of it. But then I don't know. That's still a hard one for me. $2 million a year. Would y'all do 20 years for $2 million a year? Honestly, do you think you could do it?
Arson and having an unregistered firearm. He's also locally been charged with 3rd-degree arson, property destruction, shooting a gun into a vehicle or structure, and possession of explosive or flammable device.
Now, when you see these charges, I want y'all to also remember something, that this is just charges from the local municipalities and the local counties that he's resided in, all right? This has nothing to do with the additional federal charges that he's going to face.
Oh, damn.
And the anticipated federal charges is supposed to be domestic terrorism, which by itself carries upwards of 20 years in prison with no chance or possibility of parole. Imagine being so indoctrinated that you got to the point to where you really thought that it was a good idea. And I told y'all, I warned y'all, I said that it was gonna happen. Listen, bro, he 30.
Hey, he better not go in front of a judge that Trump had appointed, because you blowing up Elon stuff, and Elon is Trump man's. So yeah. And with this whole, deportation thing with the foreigners and all, yeah, that wasn't a smart move, man.
36 years old. 36 years old. By the time that he possibly get out of prison, he's going to be 56 years old with a felony and federal charges.
Oh, V, dog better leave the country. Oh, no, he caught already.
Crazy. All because you didn't like, and Elon Musk is going to move on. He's probably going to have 15 more kids by 15 more women.
Yep.
He, life is going to happen. Trump is going to do what he going to do. All of us, listen, in 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, we will forget you. You want a prime example of that? Anybody remember Luigi Margione? Luigi Margione? Hey, how much news coverage and how many people are still talking about Luigi Margione?
Not a damn
We made
soul.
money covering it. He went out there and executed. Guess what? Nobody cares, and they're going to forget about you.
Nobody cares.
We move so fast in the technology world with news. That's why I be telling content creators a lot of times, they be getting all upset. Oh my God, they said something about me. They're going to ruin my reputation. I said, man, don't nobody care about you in 3 days. We're going to be talking about something else. And you can go right back to doing whatever it was that you was doing and build up your new community. It's a guy.
Let's fast forward.
Embarrassment and all, looking stupid, came up on the platform and went right back. Find it for y'all one day. But Paul Kim just gave himself a 20-year prison sentence for no reason.
No reason.
And next week, nobody's going to care about. Do y'all remember the guy that got arrested last week that I reported on? Y'all.
So prior to his arrest, we did hear from police today talking about just what this investigation process has looked like. It did take 8 days, a lot of different agencies involved in this. He was arrested outside of his workplace yesterday. He, again, as you mentioned, did appear in federal.
This nigga went to work? So wait. You blow up a car. Well, the one car, and then blew basically another car was burned as well. You shot into all these cars, and then you just went to work the next day like nothing happened. Like, yeah, just another night out with the homies, you know what I'm saying? Just blowing some shit up. I gotta go to work the next day. Let me make sure I got my lunch.
Hey, he went back to work the next day.
Nigga tripping.
Oh
man.
A dog burned down a Tesla service center, threw some Molotov cocktails inside of the car, drove off in his Hyundai that they now building a $21 billion plant for down in the South. And then the dude got up and brushed his teeth and went to work the next day.
Crazy, bro. Crazy work. That's all I can say.
Oh, a whole week went by. He thought he got done with it. He thought he won. Come on over here and catch these federal charges, big dog.
Court today. But one thing we are learning more about is police are looking through his social media and believe it might get them one step closer to understanding why this all happened.
There's nothing courageous or noble about firebombing private property and terrorizing your local community.
Metro Police, FBI Las Vegas, and other agencies on Thursday announcing the arrest of 36-year-old Paul Kim the night before. They say he shot up and firebombed several vehicles at the Tesla Collision Center on March 18th.
That's crazy.
Police say Kim shot 2 surveillance cameras at the business when he arrived in his black Honda Elantra.
Once he finishes spray painting the words "resist" on the doors, he then approaches multiple Tesla vehicles that were parked in the front of the center. He proceeded to shoot into each vehicle and used a Molotov cocktail to set the vehicles on fire.
Yo, y'all out of y'all mind. Y'all are out of y'all rabbit minds. Y'all have really lost all control. And y'all really let TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube finesse y'all into giving your whole life away. I can't believe you just gave yourself 2 decades in prison of trying to protect yourself, probably being forced to join the gang and having protection. You thought that we was playing Splinter Cell, didn't you? You shot out the cameras, you got your Molotov cocktail, shot into the vehicle, lit it on fire, and then firebombed it. And now you got to do 20 years for domestic terrorism. You don't get a redo.
Nope.
You don't get to start over.
Nope.
Y'all really did see it through. Yo, have you ever thought about doing something that you wasn't supposed to do and say,
Hey, yo, so real quick, well, what he's saying, right? So here's one thing I always sat back and I thought about. When people do stupid stuff, right? I've always sat back and I said, I wonder if they really sat back and thought about it before they did it. And then if they didn't, right? I want you to think of this. Somebody who do something just stupid as hell, ask them why did they do it? Just ask them why. Because sometimes I really be thinking like, if I ask this person why, like, okay, what's gonna come out their mouth? Because I honestly, for like, I can't figure out why my mans will go and do some stupid shit like this. But then they got his car. It's like if you about to do some crazy shit like that, why drive your car? Like you ain't watched none of the hood movies, none of the drive-by movies, no nothing. Like you supposed to go steal another car. You feel what I'm saying? No fingerprints. Now, listen, I'm not advocating for nobody to do this. I'm just simply saying they put it on the movies so I can talk about it. You steal a car, you know, hot wire, whatever you got to do. You know, the Kia boys been going crazy, you know, see what the Kia boys is doing. Then go there, do what you need to do, then stab off. But then you can't wear none of your regular clothes. I ain't about to tell you like how to get away with none of this stuff, but y'all get what I'm saying. But my man drove his car there. I guarantee that's how they found him. I guarantee that's how they found him.
saying our heads prevailed and you was like, you know what? Nah, you know what? I can't do it, fam. And then you went along, and then 2 weeks from now, you remembered that you was thinking crazy, and you thought to yourself, man, I'm glad that I didn't crash out. I'm glad that I didn't crash out. Man, I'm glad that I didn't crash out. Splinter Cell was slapping. I love Splinter Cell. Splinter Cell might be one of my favorite games of all time back in the day. They messed it up with the newer versions. But what is wrong with y'all? Really did see it through, big dog.
250 people from 13 agencies part of the investigation. Sheriff Kevin McMahill says technology, including DNA, led them to Kim.
Which is our flock license plate reader systems, which gave us our first clue.
I knew it was the
our
car.
Skydio drone technology.
I knew it was the car.
Our digital forensics lab and all of the things that they do with cell phones and a number of other aspects of technology.
I knew it was the car. I knew it. Because first they're gonna get your tags. And then of course, once they get your tags, they're gonna run that. Then I guarantee once they caught up with my mans, found some stuff on social media, found his name, whatever, all right, where you live at. I guarantee after that, you know, they did all their forensics, they looked at his phone location. And I get, you know, the towers and how they can ping where you at. I guarantee at the times that the cameras that had the recording of everything going on, I guarantee his cell phone location was within the radius of that. And that's how they started putting it all together. Guaranteed.
Technology.
The search warrant of his vehicles and apartment also helped authorities recover several firearms and other items that.
Look at them guns. Look at these. My man's had weapons, boy. My man's had a light. He had the scope. He had the rifle with the scope. What's this? I don't think that's an AR. Slide. I guarantee this 223-556. This honestly, this look kind of like an AK. With the bump stock, with the scope, with the what's this called again? The handle was the rail. Oh yeah, my man's had some firepower for sure. He was a dangerous person. We got to get him out of here.
linked Kim to the violent act.
We also were able to recover ammunition and multiple calibers to include the caliber that was used in the crime.
Social media helping investigators piece together what could have been part of Kim's motive.
A preliminary assessment, and we have a lot of data to go through and a lot of investigative work that needs to be followed up on, but a preliminary assessment of the suspect's social media activity indicates some very loose but self-proclaimed ties to the Communist Party USA social media group, as well as social media groups called Revolutionary Communists International.
Commies. I told you they trying to bring that crap over. You're not going to get no bail. They're going to throw domestic terrorism charges, arson, Molotov cocktails, destruction of property, having an unregistered firearm. You're going to get the whole book, bro. Ain't no lawyer going to take your case. You're going to get them slip-on lawyers, the lawyers with the slip-on shoes.
It's OV for homeboy. That's all I can say. It's OV. My man said, hell no, bro. I couldn't do 20 years at age 36 years old. It's too much of my life. Okay. Dog about to do a dub for free. My man's was on TikTok too much. He seen all the people. Yeah, we got to get rid of Elon, and he's a billionaire. What my man's Bernie say? The oligarchy. We got to get rid of the oligarchy. Shut the fuck up. That's what I be wanting some people to say to some of these politicians sometimes. Like, just like, could you imagine watching a press conference or something like with Bernie Sanders or something like that, and he talking that shit? All these billionaires and they're going to mess up Social Security and the oligarchy. Could you imagine somebody just saying, "Oh, shut the fuck up"? Oh my God. If I ever seen that dog, I probably would cry laughing so hard. I'm not even gonna hold you up. I think I will boo-hoo cry from laughing so hard. And I've only did that like maybe like 2 to 3 times in my life. But man, that shit will be funny.
Man, what y'all standing with us over here in the United States of America?
Check this out. Let's fast
People
forward
that was protesting at the U.S.-Canadian border based off of the Trump tariffs. These Americans. This is what they came into Detroit to do.
Oh, nope. We done with Elon. I mean, we done with my man's time, dog. My bad. You know, we just got stuff flowing. You know what I'm saying? Got stuff flowing. I want to show y'all this other video because I had to pull it up real quick. Hold on, where it's at. All right. So he was about to go into it, but I want to go into it. I don't want him to go into it. I want me and y'all to go over this. Hold on, lady, shut up. And wait a second. You always got these people always want to be all antsy and just start talking. I want to hear that. Now, these people are from Michigan. And with them being from Michigan, what these people did was they decided to bring their asses all the way down to Detroit. Now, here's what I want y'all to understand. Detroit is predominantly black, but it's starting to change, which is not a bad thing. You know, the white people, they coming back to the D. They buying up the properties. And I'm gonna be 100 with you. Some people, so it was this whole thing that I was hearing people saying. They was saying how our mayor was supposedly like his office, they were over assessing the properties on purpose, and supposedly they owe Detroit homeowners $600 million. Yeah, I'm okay, baby. What's wrong? Because I just heard you going home. No, I'm good, baby. Go ahead. Go back to bed. I love you. $600 million, and because they are oversessing like the property tax and everything like that. Now, all the people that always said that, it was like, okay, and they was talking about gentrification, they was talking all this stuff or whatever, right? Now, here's one thing that I do know. Just, born and raised in the city, born and raised in the hood, whatever. I know that when a lot of the people left out of the city of Detroit, I think they called it I think it was called like the white flight or something like that. Basically, like where all the white people was leaving the urban areas, going into the suburbs and stuff like that. I seen our communities basically drop. You know, mainly because of the riots back in what was it, 60? I think it was like 1967 or something like that. It seemed because growing up, I seen a bunch of abandoned buildings, and it was just always going downhill. Now, at one point in time, Detroit was the murder capital in the whole country. Now, I want y'all to understand when it comes to Detroit, like Detroit has been through a lot of different things. So we had that whole riot. We had burned down buildings, burned down houses. You had the housing crash that happened in 2008, 2009. Of course, that affected Detroit like a mofo. What else happened in Detroit? Detroit is the largest city in American history to go bankrupt. What else? So all these bad things basically was happening, right? So we had politicians that was stealing from, the city, all that. Now, fast forward all the way into today. All the white people started coming back. They had money. Now, of course, some people they go into, the banks to get them money. They want to get the black people money. And I'm not taking nothing away from any of that. Like, I don't know if any of this is like factual information, but I do know one thing. It seems like when, white people start coming back to Detroit, everything started to change. I kid you not. I seen white people running in the neighborhoods, which I think it's cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of those people that's like, oh no, you need to stay out of here. I'm cool with diversity. I mean, I have no issue with it. Don't get me wrong. I would prefer to see more black affluent people. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to move, because I want my children to see more black successful people. But I don't have no issue with no other ethnic group. I love all people, just being 100. But when all them people started coming back, of course, the property value started to go up, which is a good thing. Another thing that I really noticed too, the police. Kid you not. The police reaction times was a lot faster. Just the police presence in general, you start seeing them way more. That's some of the things that I started to notice. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. I'm with it. But these people here, you won't see a lot of black people, because I only seen like a few seconds of this. But all these people came to downtown Detroit to protest for Canada. Now, for anybody who's never been to Detroit, when you go to downtown Detroit, especially it's one part, it's called the River Walk. When you downtown along the River Walk, you can see directly into Canada. It's right across the water. You see they whole downtown area, which is Ontario. You see all of that. These people were down there screaming that they stand with Canada and all that type of stuff, right? Now, me personally, I think they should take their ass over there. It's like, okay, cool. You want to, because I can see if they were Canadians, like they were Canadian, and for some odd reason they lived here and they was doing that, got you. You got to support home. If you came over here, like you grew up there, you came here, I'm with it. If that's where you from. But if you ain't from Canada, what the fuck is you doing protesting down there? I understand you may feel some type of way, but you don't do that. That's like your kids protesting your house because the neighbors across the street get pissed off about something because you did something that they didn't like, and your kids go outside and they protesting about what you doing at home. It's like, well, take your ass over there and live with them then. That's how I feel about these people. Let's get into it.
Rock him up! Rock him up! Two countries, one cause. Demonstrators in Detroit and Windsor joining forces in a cross-border protest united against President Donald Trump's tariffs on Canada. Thank you for joining us. I'm Will Jones.
And I'm Pamela Osborne. Protests are happening just as President Trump's reciprocal tariffs on Canada and Mexico are set to take effect. That's on April 2nd. Our Jacqueline Francis is here to show us how demonstrators hope to get the attention of those in power. Jacqueline?
This was incredibly unique in the fact that on this side of the Detroit River, there were protesters, and then on the other side, there were Canadian protesters, all fighting for the same cause. From the U.S. to Canada, protesters gave their take on tariffs.
We're protesting what's happening to the United States and how we're treating our neighbor.
Organizers say the demonstration is in response to President Donald Trump's tariffs against Canada.
What's happening with our allies, Canada, there's a lot of people very upset.
Earlier this week, President Trump defending the tariffs.
We're going to be getting back some of the wealth that very, very foolish presidents gave away.
Lock him up! Lock him up!
Protesters also called out Trump for his recent remarks about making Canada part of the U.S. Demonstrators taking pride in the turnout.
By seeing this many people coming out on a cold day in Detroit, maybe it'll have some impact.
There's an awful lot of people here, and we have our friends across the river looking at us.
Protesters tell us there are more events to come, including one in Lansing in 2 weeks. Reporting from Hart Plaza, Jacqueline Francis, Local 4.
Boy, listen. Honestly, send their asses over there. Like, let's just keep it a buck. Send their ass to Canada and tell them, you know what? They got natural born citizenship. Revoke their citizenship. You want to go against us? Go over there with them. Listen, you can't do this type of stuff in no other country, bro. You can't do it in like China. You know, I'm pretty sure you can't do it in Germany. Shit, you probably can't even do it in Canada, probably. You probably can't. Take y'all asses over there with them since y'all don't like it. Because put it like this. How are you going to get mad? How are you going to get mad that Trump is doing stuff for America, bro? I thought it was America first. They all talking about some, our allies. We don't like what they're doing to our allies. So you didn't know that they was actually like, they tax us on a lot of shit too? Y'all don't know about that? You talking about this whole free trade agreement? No. Remember when we did when we talked about it last week that they like what was the milk? It was like some other stuff that eggs and some other stuff. And remember, I just want y'all, and the only reason I bring this up is because these same people, remember they was bitching about the price of eggs and they was mad at Trump like, oh, he still ain't brought the egg prices down and all this. But yet if we getting our eggs over from Canada and they overtaxing us like a motherfucker about eggs, but y'all bitching about eggs. It's like they the reason for it, but then you mad. Like what? I thought it was supposed to be America first. These motherfuckers down there, they basically saying Canada first. Cause we taxing them. We want our fucking job. We want our jobs to come back to America. Y'all remember South Park? They took our jobs. That's what's going on with that. They took our jobs. We want our shit back. But they mad. Ooh, boy. I tell you, sometimes people are people, It's like, can you be mad at people? Yeah. I think you can, because a lot of times I think people stupid. I'm just being completely 100. A lot of people are stupid because I really don't understand what the fuck they down there protesting. I honestly believe they just like, oh, we just don't like Trump, so whatever he do, we don't care. We don't like it. That's what I honestly believe. And if say that. That's my thing. If you don't like Trump, just say, Trump, we don't like your ass, and we just don't like what you're doing because we don't like you personally. But to hell with Canada. Yeah, you doing a good job with, helping America become back great, and I ain't talking about with all the racist stuff. I ain't talking about that. Because a lot of people try to, and I was a part of it. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? Before I became more aware, stuff like that. I was a part of when was America great and who was it great for? listen, we know what America has did to black people. We know this. We know about slavery. We know about Jim Crow. We know about segregation and all like that. But one thing a lot of people don't know is when you actually start to dive in a little bit more, you start to learn that everything that we was once told ain't really 100% true. It's only like part of the truth. Now, yeah, we definitely been fucked over. I ain't gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that we haven't. Yeah, we have. We know this. But today, we have more opportunities to actually do something. And it's like our people is not really doing shit. So it's like I can't even hold on to a lot of that stuff no more because you really think about it. Think about a lot of opportunities, like if you becoming more successful or just in life in general. Who really kind of gave you a lot of those opportunities? I'm not gonna lie, a lot of opportunities that I have, have had come by, stuff like that. It wasn't really a black person that gave it to me. Now, I'm not gonna say every opportunity, no, because it's like my cousin, he definitely, gave me opportunity as far as my first job, getting into Red Lobster, which I absolutely hated after a while. But my cousin got me that job. But guess who hired me? It was a white dude. Cousin hit him up. He's like, "Hey, cuz, you want a job?" I'm like, "Man, yeah, I'm in high school." I'm like, "Yeah, cuz I want a job." He like, "All right, bet. You got an interview today, blah, blah." I'm like, "All right, cool." Go to the interview. It wasn't really a real purpose for the interview. I was going to get the damn job. But a white dude hired me. Ever since that, white. Well, no black dudes. In our community, it ain't black men. And I'm not saying this in large. So please don't black men do. I'm not saying that because I know black men are great. I'm just simply saying within our communities, it's not us in large giving our jobs back to our own people. You see what, especially within the media and all that, what was being showcased about our people. We always on some bullshit. But anyway, that's getting sidetracked. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Make sure you subscribe and drop a comment. Y'all already know, but we about to get into this next one and hit the notification bell. So we about to talk about Doge. Doge is getting got an interview going on. Elon breaking stuff down, and he's talking about the fraud. And I found this very interesting. I did listen to the whole thing, but we're gonna get through a lot of it. So let's get it cracking.
That the government is defrauded is that the computer systems don't talk to each other. So if the computer systems don't talk to each other, then you can exploit that gap, and fraudsters exploit that gap, take advantage. For example, there were over $300 million of Small Business Administration loans that has been given out to people under the age of 11.
Well, actually, to add to it, it's $300 million under the age of 11 and over $300 million to over the age of 120.
Definitely.
Small business loans, correct?
Yes. The oldest American is 114. So it's safe to say if their age is...
Hold up. Did y'all hear that? Under the age of 11? Boy, niggas out here finessing. They finessing. Listen, y'all already know with the PPP loans that they got people out here like they really convicting people, right? I just wish I knew some of the people and be like, "Hey, yo, slide me a few of them dollars. I don't want no part of you getting convicted, but let me get some of that change, though, you know?" I'm dirty.
115 or above, they're fake. Or they should be in the Guinness Book of World Records. And we should not be giving out loans to babies. So the youngest recipient of a Small Business Administration loan is a 9-month-old, which is a very, very precocious baby we're talking about here. So obviously it was just fraudulent. And they do terrible things. They actually will see that a kid's been born. They will steal that kid's social security number and then take out a loan and leave that kid with a bad credit rating.
Damn.
There's literally a baby. The terrible things are being done is what we're saying.
And how
we're stopping these terrible things.
And you can stop it? I mean,
well, we are stopping it.
The reason this is
Absolutely.
happening is because the two systems are not talking to each other.
Yes.
Right? And so you don't know at the Small Business Administration that you're giving a loan to a 9-month-old, which happened in one case, because you're not cross-referencing that with the Social Security Administration data that has birth dates. So that very, very simple fix eliminates tremendous fraud. And that there are multiple systems across the government where the systems are not speaking with one another. And if you just solve that simple problem, you would solve a huge amount of fraud.
Are you surprised?
So one of the ways that, like one of the key tricks that the fraudsters pull is that they will use the fact that someone is marked as live and as sort of just that Social Security number is marked as live in Social Security, and then get disability and unemployment insurance for a dead person. Because the databases don't talk to each other, all they got was from Social Security is like, is this person alive? Yes, they're not alive. It's falsely marked. Person is falsely marked as alive in Social Security, but they didn't. But that person, a fraudster can now get unemployment and disability from a dead person. This is happening all the time at scale.
Are you surprised at some of the legal efforts and some of the judges that have weighed in? There's about 8 or 10 now of these cases that are at least temporary holds. They're being challenged by the DOJ.
Right.
Are you surprised by that pushback?
Well, it's the D.C. Circuit is notorious for having a very far-left bias. And when you look at the people close to some of these judges, where are they working? Oh, they're working at these NGOs. Oh, they're the ones getting this money. Does that seem like a system that lacks corruption? It sounds like corruption to me.
Last thing, do you guys all see this as a patriotic duty? I mean, is that really what this is about?
It's essential.
I do, 100%. I was running 5 businesses in Houston, and I left that. I left great people to do this, and my wonderful wife said, go for it. And here I am. But I feel like this is me giving back to the country.
If we don't do this, we're sunk.
Yep.
The ship, unless this exercise is successful, the ship of America will sink. That's why we're doing it.
Well, gentlemen, I really appreciate the time. Hassan, Interior Department, you're a former oil company CEO. You're reviewing contracts before they're approved for funding. What are you finding?
Well, Elon and Steve kind of stole my thunder a little bit, but I actually found that customer service survey contract. I actually have an example of one right here. I could have done this in high school. And
Is that right?
I found it.
Is that bad?
I found it on the weekends because under the Biden administration, there was no departmental oversight within the Department of Interior whatsoever. None. We are now reviewing every single contract, every single grant, and when things come to my attention that don't make sense, I'm bringing them to Secretary Burgum, and he has been fantastic. He's a businessman. He's very supportive of DOJ. It's been wonderful to work with him.
Now listen, motherfuckers say you can't run America like no business. That's what people said, but in my brain, I'm like, well, why not? Because as a businessman, there are certain ways that we operate that just makes more sense. And a lot of people like to look at America as if it's not a business. Bro, America is a huge business. America itself is the business. Point blank, period. I'm going to tell y'all just like I tell my kids. Everything is a business. School is a business. Hospitals are business. Even though motherfuckers want to do all this nonprofit, that's a business too. It's not profitable. But that's a business. Businesses establishes nonprofit so they can run their money through it. Just so I can get more money. Everything is a business, bro. You got to pay attention to the money and to the plays. We are literally in a sinking ship and we are about to go bankrupt. Everybody want to sit here and say Trump this, Elon this. They want to talk shit about the Doge team and all like that. But if they never stepped in, what would we have done? That's one thing that a lot of people, when they want to talk, ask them that question. Well, what do you think we should have done then? What do you think if Trump wouldn't have won and Kamala would have came in? And remember, Kamala was, a part of Biden administration. All the things that he was rocking with, she was damn near rocking with too. So all the migrants and giving them all that money. Hold on, real quick. Remember when that hurricane hit Florida and we supposed to have money for within the FEMA fund for emergencies, and the only thing that they gave them Floridians was like $750. Y'all remember that? But then all the migrants that was coming in, they was getting housing, they was getting like mad food stamps, health benefits. All of that was off the backs of who? Taxpayer dollars. It was us. When we got to pay all these punk ass taxes that we got to pay, that shit was going right over to the migrants. That wasn't going to our own people. That one going down to the people that was in Florida. They coming in and finding all this bullshit, all this fraud. But then everybody hate them so much. I don't get it. And then you got other politicians that's always saying, what do they say? You know, these billionaires, they don't even say millionaires no more. Pay attention to that too. Pay attention to the words they use. Oh, these billionaires, they're gonna take away your grandmother's social security. And it's like, no, they not. They gonna take away their Medicare, Medicaid. No, they not. They just want to make stuff more efficient and stop all the fraud. Listen, the transparency that these dudes have been putting, like, has been showing, is also crazy too. Because I don't remember anybody else that has been basically taking American people and like putting them on the inside. Like, Doge got a whole website to where when they find BS or whatever they find it, they put it right on the website. They put it on X and on the website for people to go see. So basically it's like, yo, here go the receipts. Here go all the money that was here. Here go the money that was here, 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 here. Look at it. For the American people. What, how can you be mad at that? That's one thing I don't understand when people be bitching. It's like, give me valid reasons on why you're upset. And the only thing it always seems to come down to is, oh, I just don't like them because of, I don't know, the fucking sky blue. That, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, they're rich. It's like, so what? They fucking rich. You want to be broke? Who the fuck want to be broke? Like, start you a business and put your all into your business and maybe you'll get somewhere too. And they say, oh, well, their dad, like Trump dad gave them money. Okay. Like, ain't that's what you're fucking supposed to do? I can tell y'all straight up. I'm going to make sure my son and daughter is well taken care of. Paid. And if anybody say, oh yeah, you're only okay in life because your dad gave you millions of dollars. It's like, okay. Ain't that's what the fuck they supposed to do? Fuck, you gonna get mad because my parents did what they supposed to do.
The battle between government of decades and decades of buildup and business, which you guys are, is that like a train hitting each other? I mean, it seems like it's pretty disruptive.
Well, this is a revolution, and I think it might be the biggest revolution in government since the original revolution. But at the end of the day, America is going to be in much better shape. America will be solvent. The critical programs that people depend upon will work, and it's going to be a fantastic future. But are we going to get a lot of complaints along the way? Absolutely. You know, one of the things I learned at PayPal was you know who complains the loudest and with the most amount of fake righteous indignation? The fraudsters. It's a tell. There's some of these NGOs that are crazy, like the $2 billion to Stacey Abrams' NGO that basically didn't exist and suddenly gets $2 billion awarded from the federal government. She has, why? And there are many such cases like that.
I think that most people, common sense-wise, would say the fraud's got to end. Yeah. They're concerned about the 94-year-old mother who skips a check or somehow doesn't get what she's supposed to get.
Right. And what we're trying to say is actually that the 94-year-old grandmother is actually, as a result of Doge's work, going to get her check. She's not going to be robbed by fraudsters like she's getting robbed today. And the solvency of the federal government will ensure that she continues to receive those Social Security checks, that Medicare continues to work, without which we're all doomed. I mean, the reason we're doing this is because if we don't do it, America's going to go insolvent.
Yep.
We're going to go bankrupt.
Yep.
And nobody's going to get anything.
Why are you guys all doing it? I mean, you can pipe up, but you don't have to be here, right? I mean, you don't have to be doing this.
I have 4.
And real quick, with them doing this, like Elon, for instance, go look at how much money he actually lost. Go look how much money Trump has lost by being president, Elon doing what he doing. Look how much money they lost.
We're blessed with 4 beautiful children, my wife and I. But we have a real fiscal crisis. And this is not sustainable. And what's worse, back to my children and everyone else's children, is we are burdening them with that debt.
Yep.
And it's only going to grow.
Steve, there's not a lot of hierarchy here. You guys are kind of all approaching it in different, silos, but with the same kind of goal, right? I mean, this is really Silicon Valley, private sector colliding with government.
Yeah, exactly. And we're headed in a bad path, but then the chance of success exists. And just the one that just is in my head right now, which is a fairly mundane one, but I think is very illustrative, is credit cards. There are in the federal government around 4.6 million credit cards for around 2.3 to 2.4 million employees. This doesn't make sense.
2 credit cards per person?
And so one of the things all of the teams have worked on is we've worked with the agencies and said, do you need all of these credit cards? Are they being used? Can you tell us physically where they are?
I hope they're getting frequent flyers.
Actually, on a different note, the rewards program the federal government has is actually not very good. That's a whole other...
It's a negotiation.
Sure, yeah, exactly. But so far, the teams have worked together, and they've reduced it from 4.6 million to 4.3 million. So
we're taking it easy. But clearly there should not be, more. There should not be more credit cards than there are people. Yeah.
Joe, middle-level employees, are they seeing a benefit to being empowered by taking out bureaucracy? I mean,
absolutely. I mean, I think what you're seeing is taking the best of Silicon Valley and the business world and bringing it into the government. We're bringing the best practices and the best methodologies, and people are inspired. Right, especially on the retirement process, which I can speak to. They've been trying to modernize and get off of paper since early 2000s, very unsuccessfully. Every attempt has gone over budget and been canceled because it hasn't been successful. And so, I showed up and I feel like I'm here because it's an interesting problem. We can use design to solve it and good engineering, and really create a better experience for everybody.
We're talking about elementary financial controls that are necessary for any company to function. So, like, if the federal government, if a commercial company operated the way the federal government does, then it would be immediately go bankrupt. It would be delisted. The officers would be arrested. The changes we're putting in place will enable the federal government to pass an audit. It will enable taxpayers to.
So real quick, so if anybody who don't understand what he's basically saying that if this was a regular business and they were operating the way that basically our government has been operating, they would have been bankrupt a long time ago. And all the fraud that has been going on, the officers of that company, which is like, your CEO, your COO, your CFO, all of them, they would have been arrested already. Basically because you're committing fraud. You're still operating, saying you're making money, you moving money around, all this fraud stuff, y'all have been done. But because America basically prints our own money, they just keep on going on and on and on. That's why our dollar ain't really worth shit right now, because we owe so much money.
To know where the money is going,
we
and know that their hard-earned tax dollars are being spent well.
Elon Musk sitting down for an exclusive interview.
So that was the whole Doge interview. One of these dudes are rocket scientists too. I can't remember which one it was. But yeah, man, that's what the whole, the Doge meeting and everything like that. That's what they talking about over there. It's really interesting. People still upset about the whole. They still upset about the whole Elon doing what he doing. And I can't understand it. Now, I mean, I'm a business owner for them. I'm a business person. I'm not gonna keep saying business owner. I'm a business person. I understand business, so it makes perfect sense. But some people don't look at it like that. I don't even, I'm gonna ask somebody. The next time I encounter somebody that say Trump is effing up the economy, I'm just gonna ask some questions. And I might even record it too, because I kind of forget a lot of stuff because I be thinking about so many different things, trying to be productive, what I'm about to do, making money, stuff like that. I don't really be having time with people and they bullshit because it just don't make sense to me. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do that just for y'all too. I'm gonna ask him, well, how is he messing up the country? Well, what do you think he should be doing? And watch every time. Oh, I don't know. He just shouldn't be doing this. Like, exactly. So shut the fuck up then. It's like people always want to complain, but then don't have a solution with their complaint. But we about to move over to the next part of the show, and then I'm gonna get y'all out of here. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all for rocking with your mans. You feel me? So this last one I got for y'all, yeah, I think y'all gonna laugh. Me personally, I really think y'all gonna laugh because I kind of laughed when I seen it. Where is that? Because this person was tripping. Let's get this cracking. Hold on.
Single mom of 3 kids, I will not be dating men that have kids. You guys are not to be taken seriously. Nobody wants you because your baby mama left you for a reason. If you are not licking the fucking floor that I walk on, you are not gonna be with me. Like, my standards are so much more higher now than before I had kids, which is fucking insane. So if you want to be with me, you're gonna have to be a stepdad of 3 kids. I have 2 boys and a little girl, and my kids are fucking bad. I know what comes with dating somebody with kids, and I don't fucking want it. I don't want none of the drama. I don't give a fuck about your baby mama. If you're gonna be a stepdad, you are gonna have to pay for some of my kids' things. Like, if you want to take that role of a stepfather, you have to pay for some of their things. There's just no way that you're just gonna be my partner and not a father figure for them, you know? A lot of you may ask yourself, what are you gonna bring to the table, Lindsay? What are you gonna... My fucking love and affection, bitch, and my fucking time. Like, that's what I'm gonna bring to the fucking table. You're gonna fucking be with me because you love me, not because you have to use me for your benefit. Like, I am traumatized, okay? So you either love the fuck out of me and of my kids, or you're just not gonna fucking be with me at all.
Who the fuck wants you? Your baby daddies don't even want you. Like, what? Hoo-wee. Hey, make sure y'all like, subscribe, and comment. That's all I can say. I don't know what the fuck be wrong with these. See, I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit about me. Your man CEO Rico. I don't like talking to a lot of people. Now, it's not in like I'm antisocial or nothing like that. I am very social, but it's only certain instances because I honestly don't feel like in a lot of instances it's not worth my time or energy to talk about certain stuff. Now, with me saying that, I can't talk to stupid fucking people because it makes no sense to me. Everything on what she sat here and said made no sense to me because it's like the era that we are in. Now, understand this. So I need people to understand this. You got outside real life, and then you got social media. Now, we all tapped into social media. At one point in time, I said, there's no reason for me to even care about nothing that these women talk about on the internet. There's no real reason for me to feed into it, pay attention to it, none of that. But then I had to take a step back and I had to start thinking about it. I said, no, wait, I kind of do. Reason being, 1, I have a daughter. 2, I have a son. At some point in life, they're going to be out here in these streets. Not literally in the streets, you know what I'm saying? But, in the world. I need to be aware of what's going on because there's a reason on why your seniors and all that, they're so important. I love old people because they pass on knowledge and information to the youth. I have to be that wisdom for my children because motherfuckers like that is out here. How does a woman who has 3 children, and she said they bad as fuck. Now, let's just hypothetically say she just did this for jokes, and giggles and shit. But let's just run along with the narrative. How does a man who will have to provide in some way, shape, or form, financially, emotionally, and all of this, right? Especially, we ain't gonna talk about the dudes that don't have kids right now. I'm gonna talk about them in a second. But how would a man benefit by being with you? And she said, well, what do you bring to the table? Her love and whatever the hell else she said. But then she said she's traumatized and all like that. Sweetheart, you traumatized. Why the fuck would a man even want? Why would they want to be with you? See, a lot of times when these women get on the internet and they talk about this shit, they're not talking about productive men. They're not talking about the men that they want. They talk about the niggas that just want them and just want to smash and, oh, you so pretty. You know, I just want to do this, take care. Like niggas be lame as hell when they do all that. Yeah, girl, I'll take care of you and all that. Man, they just saying all that just to get some pussy. As soon as they get that, all that shit start going out the window. But nevertheless, it's niggas on the lower end. It's the unproductive niggas. It's the niggas that's still in the hood and they gonna never leave the hood and that walk to the gas station just to get a Lucy. Like them the niggas that they be talking about. They get a loose booty. Loose booty is a cigarette. For anybody that don't know. I gotta drive my baby mama car. And say baby mama. Like that the baby mama, baby dad, that shit is so ghetto. And I hate that phrase. But that's the type of dudes that she would attract. Point blank, period. Them lame, simp ass dudes that ain't got no motion, ain't got no real purpose, that's not on their mission, that's not on top of their game, that's not on their shit. Those are the type of men that get women like that. Because there's no way in hell a dude that's actually fucking productive, that's out here getting to business, that got plenty of options, is gonna choose that. Facts. Straight facts. And she said her kid's bad as hell. My kids, I only had two. About one woman. Two. I can't stand my motherfucking kids sometimes. Listen, my kids know this. I be ready to throw my kids the fuck away. I told them that multiple times. I be like, listen, I want to throw y'all away, but I love the hell out of y'all. Like I told somebody before, being a dad is insanity with a bow wrapped around that shit. I honestly feel listen, I feel in this. You see, I'm stuttering, right? I feel like I'm insane sometimes dealing with my children, but I love these little shits. They are my little people. But kids are fucking little demons, bro. They are bad. I am not the one that's gonna sit here and say children are so sweet. No, the fuck they are not. Then you telling me you want a dude to come deal with your three badass kids that you ain't got no control over? Pretty sure your baby daddy ain't got no control over because you ain't with the nigga. And you probably think, oh, you can't see my kids unless you do such. Who the fuck want to deal with all that? Y'all let me know if I'm wrong. The women can chime in too, which a lot of like, and here's another thing that I'm seeing too. Now, remember some years ago, it was Hot Girl Summer, right? So it's been a transition. This is something that I've been paying attention to. We're just kind of like realizing. You had Hot Girl Summer. All the little thotties was out there shaking it, twerking it, popping it on whoever, whatever, right? Then it started to transition into all the baby mamas and the single baby mamas. Now, mind you, these cycles are, what's the word? Cyclical or whatever. Basically go in a circle, whatever. Now you got the single baby mamas and they all speaking out and then they all on the internet bitching and complaining and saying dudes ain't shit and all this, right? But when you hit their ass with the actual data and statistics, then they wonder, where do you get this data from? Because it's saying that only 20% of the bum ass dudes, I ain't gonna say bum ass dudes, 20% of the men is fathering 80% of y'all kids. So it's way more baby mamas than it is baby daddies, but then they always blame it on the men. But then you got women like that pop that making content saying stupid shit. And it's showcasing what? It's showcasing that it's not really men, bro. It's y'all. And then if you a dude that ain't got no kids, boy, you better not ever look at no woman that got kids. Like dudes be hopping on the internet with that old simp ass, soft ass shit, talking about some, oh yeah, I ain't got no kids, but I date a woman with kids. Nigga, you stupid. You boo-boo the fucking fool. Point blank, period. I don't care what nobody say. Here's a few things that I would never recommend nobody to do. One, single parenthood. I don't care if you male or female. Nobody should experience single parenthood. It's hard enough with two parents. A single parent, Bro, that shit is treacherous. A single man going into a situation with a woman with children, you stupid. I met a dude who did that shit. That nigga is living hell, bro. Living hell. He hates it. And I told him straight up, no man that don't have kids should never deal with a woman that got kids. Some people ask the question, well, what about the other way around? It's completely different. Let me tell you why it's different. Typically, women want men to come into their situation and to provide what? Typically, financial support, the whole protection, and she wants them to protect them, provide some type of leadership, shit like that, right? That's typically what women want. On the flip side, a woman coming into a man's life that may have a child or children, that man does not want her to provide financially, protection, leadership. He don't want all that. All he wants you to do is give me some sucky, make me some food. And of course, make my kids some food. I'm gonna take care of you. You know what I'm saying? All like, and we gonna be good. All you gotta do is do the natural shit you was gonna do anyway. Cook some food, be cute, and be peaceful. Who the fuck can't do that? Let me know. Who can't do that? But when people want to have these conversations, they get up there and they say stupid shit like that. I don't care about your baby mom and all. That's fine and dandy. I don't care about your baby daddy because I don't want to deal with you or them kids or that motherfucker. Guys, y'all gotta let me know what y'all think about that one. Cause that one, hey, y'all already know. It's your favorite businessman, CEO Rico. I appreciate y'all for rocking out with your mans. Listen, we here every Friday. 10 o'clock on the dot. Every Friday, 10 o'clock on the dot, baby. But once again, make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Make sure y'all drop comments down below. I love talking to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Chat lives matter. I love doing this with y'all. I love that y'all rock with your mans. And we gonna always, you know what I'm saying, get shit cracking. Yo, if y'all got some particular like videos y'all want me to add into the show, if y'all want me to comment on something, make sure y'all send it to me. Y'all can go into the actual descriptions. Y'all can hit me up on Instagram, or y'all can just hit me up at what's my email? It's ricardo@ceorico.com. And we gonna get it in. So I'm gonna catch y'all next time. Peace.